Before I get started, I want to give all praises and glory to the God of Israel, aka God Almighty, for those that don't know. So this is kind of like a part two to my previous video where I was explaining how God gives us God gives us life lessons in these books, or in the book of the law. And I was explaining how the book of Genesis, the Lord was pretty much explaining just because something looked good don't mean touch it. So this is RFK Jr. and he's been advocating how the food industry and the FDA, they are allowing these food companies to put poison in our products. And as you can see, toothpaste, cereal, fruit snacks, and all these other things. And one thing I want y'all to start noticing that if you look at a lot of these food packages in the grocery stores in America, it always has stuff like bioengineered. So just pay attention to that. So I'm gonna explain this. Just give me a sec. I'm gonna go ahead and play this video for y'all real quick.
But with artificial food dyes, they have shown all over the world that they can use colorants that come from fruit.
This is the Canadian version.
This is the
Looks great.
brightness of the Canadian version, just for visibility. And this is the brightness of artificial food dyes. So, of course, Kellogg and other food companies will argue children prefer this over this, just as they would prefer cocaine over sugar. That doesn't make it okay.
But I think
All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and play this small clip of RFFK for y'all real quick.
This is what most Americans innocently put into their bodies these days, and most alarmingly, into the bodies of their children. And it's no coincidence that Americans die earlier than Canadians or Germans or Italians or Japanese or Koreans or Australians or most any other comparable country. And it wasn't always that way. Until the early 1990s, our life expectancy was the same or better than other developed countries. Then suddenly, more and more Americans began suffering from chronic diseases, from obesity, cancer, diabetes, kidney disease, Alzheimer's, heart disease, and all kinds of autoimmune diseases. Our maternal mortality rate soared to the highest of any developed country on earth. Same with infant mortality. Like the frog in the slowly boiling water, we didn't really notice as we got sicker and sicker. We've grown now to accept chronic disease conditions as normal. But now, in 2024, we're finally waking up to this cataclysm and we're asking ourselves, how in the world did this happen? A big part of it is our
All right, so let me give y'all a backstory. So I used to stay in London, Ontario, just temporarily, because I was seeing someone out there, dating someone. And when I was staying in Canada briefly, I noticed how the food there tasted much better than here in America. All right. Like, it's a noticeable difference. I don't think y'all understand. Unless you somebody that actually travels, you know what I'm talking about. Especially if you go overseas and stuff like that. The food tastes better. It tastes better. And then another thing I noticed, it didn't even dawn on me until somebody brought it to my attention. A lot of foods over there, it don't look as bright. So in the one video I was showing y'all, my bad, y'all. Let me go back. The one video I was showing y'all with the Canada stuff, right? He was explaining how the Fruit Loops in America looks brighter than the ones in Canada. That's because they banned a lot of these dyes that we use in our foods and stuff, right? Even Reese's. Let me give you an example. Reese's is one of my favorite candies, right? Excuse me. In the Canada version, they use like real alternatives. For example, sugar. They use sugar in their version of Reese's, but they call it Reese. Well, in America, they use high fructose corn syrup, right? So, um, I hear a lot of people say, well, the American version is sweeter. That's because of the high fructose corn syrup. Whereas in Canada, they use sugar, so you're getting a more healthy alternative. You get what I'm saying? A lot of the times, the stuff in Canada does taste better. But you might, for example, you might go to Popeyes in Canada. You would say, "Oh, this don't taste better than the Popeyes in America and stuff like that." Well, that's because in America they use stuff like Kerrigan. If I'm saying that right, look up Kerrigan. You wouldn't want to put that in your body, but they put that in all these different chicken sandwiches in America. And they use stuff like MSG or something like that. It's like a salt, all these additives and stuff to get you addicted, to get you to keep coming back and buying the product. And this stuff is really killing you, right? Another thing y'all don't know is a lot of this shit is actually banned. A lot of this shit is actually banned in Canada. I mean in other parts of the world. A lot of American food products is banned in other parts of the world. So I'm gonna go ahead and play this clip.
There are many foods that are illegal, banned in other countries. Come with me, I'll show you what to do. Things like Skittles, stovetop stuffing, corn, farmed salmon, U.S. milk, coffee mate coffee creamer, and Ritz crackers. This is just a small sampling of the foods that are banned in other countries. They are banned because they include preservatives, dyes, flavor agents, and or pesticides. These things are added to our food, it drastically increases health and or behavior issues.
So for example, for those that don't know, Gatorade is banned in other countries. Like, let me see if I can show y'all something real quick. Again, I'm just talking to y'all. If y'all don't if y'all don't want to listen to it, that's cool, you know what I'm saying? Ain't no big deal with me. You feel me?
As a Canadian that moved to the US,
Let me show y'all this, right?
let me show you something. So this is American ketchup, right? And if you look at the ingredients, high fructose corn syrup, okay? And then this is the exact same brand, same ketchup that I bought in Canada while I was visiting this weekend. There's a maple leaf, okay? Look at this. None of that. Tomato paste, sugar, vinegar, salt, spices. Made with 5 simple ingredients. This is why America makes you sick. Ever since moving here, honestly, I've noticed a big difference in the quality of food, just in the quality of everything. Like, it's shocking.
Again, many of you don't care, but this is something I noticed when I was over there. Like the food just tastes better. Like it just more healthier, it tastes better, everything. So again, I don't want to make this long. This is pretty much a part two to show y'all proof of the stuff that I be trying to explain to y'all. Y'all enjoy the rest of y'all day. I'm out.